We're talking love on It's Time to Talk tonight. Is love just a trick that the brain does to make us procreate?
Well, if it is, it's a really good trick. It feels great, so I don't care if it's a trick or not.
Well, what is love? What exactly is it?
Love. It's when you want to be with the person 24/7, when they don't annoy you, you don't want to get away from them, you don't want to have a break from them. It's when you get the butterflies in the stomach, whenever they're like in the room and it's all, and you just want to touch them all the time. You just want to not only touch them all the time, but just be with them, and they're your best friend, and you want to do everything with them, and you are yourself with them. Like there's nothing, you're yourself with them. You don't have to hide, you don't have to pretend to be anyone else in any other way.
Claire, you're describing a dog.
But
How do you know it's love? How do you know it's love?
Because I know, because I have been in relationships before, and there's always been something that really annoys me about the person, or there's been, and I have had the lust thing as well, where I you know, you really like their bodies, but you can't really relate. You know, like you've got nothing in common with them. You don't have anything to talk about.
Oh, I see. So lust is physical.
It is. Lust is, to me, lust is a physical thing that you mistake for love.
And Michelle, you've been in love for more than 20 years. I'm curious to know, is there still lust, or is lust dead now?
Yeah. He's pretty hot for an old man. There's definitely still lust, but not the you know, the desperate need that you have at the beginning of a relationship. I think, like some people have said over the years, you know, what's your secret? And we don't have any one secret or any one thing, but basically I like my husband more than I like anyone else. Like, I like his personality and his company.
Sorry, I think it's more of like a connection to and a feeling that is undescribable to maybe anybody else other than the people that are in that connection.
So it's hard to explain.
Yeah, and I think unless maybe you've been in love, do you understand that connection? I don't know.
Love is always patient and kind. It is never jealous. Love is never boastful or conceited. It is never rude. It's never selfish. It does not take offence, and it is not resentful. Love takes no pleasure in other people's sins, but delights in the truth. It is always ready to excuse, to trust, to hope, and to endure whatever comes. Love does not come to an end.
Maybe that's what you hope for.
I think it's beautiful.
It's
You think that's
probably
beautiful?
the ideal.
I was about to say, my idea is that this is not realistic. I mean, what does it say there? Love takes no pleasure in other people's sins. What husband and wife don't enjoy it when each other fall down the stairs or jam their finger in a drawer? I mean, give me a break.
I mean, what you were saying before about does love end, I don't think it does. I think if it is love, then it continues. And I guess what I'm thinking of there is, you know, people that have passed away, and when, you know, I think of people that I know that have been in love for years and years, and, you know, that love continues. You don't ever forget that person.
It's usually grandparents, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you look to them and they've often been married for a long time, and you look to them and think, they're still so cute. Why can't I have that? And so maybe that is a bit of proof that love doesn't end. Because, you know, even after one passes on, the other one pines and still longs for that other person.
And you hear about that when, you know, the partner passes away, then quite often the other partner passes away quite quickly after that too. So
maybe so they can remain together somehow.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
It was. It still quite astounds me that it happened that way.
And now when you look at him, what sort of, do you still get the smack in the head? Or in a different sense?
Sometimes I actually still do. Not a lot, not often, but I'll get a, you know, sort of butterfly in the tummy feeling now and again. Not a lot.
Claire's going, oh, wow, that's beautiful, beautiful.
It is.
It is. It's lovely. You're very lucky.
I am indeed, and I count my blessings daily, believe me. I really do.
Oh, you've earned big brownie points. I don't know what to say to that. And Claire,
How
you're...
am I meant to, like, you know, match that?
Tell the listeners, Claire, about what you found at the end of your bed recently. I'm not talking about, you know, the leftover Chinese that I put there. Claire, you must find a lot of different things at the end of your bed if you can't think what I'm talking about.
the love letter.
You have a love letter.
Yeah,
yes.
right.
Oh, wow,
beautiful.
my mind's
Yeah,
boggled
yeah.
now.
And it was beautiful. Just received.
Because you're in this fledgling relationship.
Personal to share with us what might have been in the love letter?
No, I can read it because hopefully he won't. As long as you don't add him as a friend.
He's out of my
listen to
listening
it on
audience.
YouTube.
Absolutely.
But,
Well, just give us the gist, Ben. Give us the gist.
well, it was just beautiful. It just says, to my dearest sweetheart Claire, I've discovered that I already miss you immensely. I love you intensely. My world won't be complete until you're in my arms again, like type thing. It was just.
How did it make you feel when you read
I melted.
a little note like
melted.
that?
Melted. I just melted.
Can you be single and be happy?
Yeah, I've been single and very happy. It's one of the happiest times in my life because, that's the time where you get to know who you are. It's the time for, I guess, a bit of self-development and a bit of, I don't know, just doing the things that you want to do. It's not that you can't do that when you're with somebody either. You can do the same thing when you are in love. But, I think you can be happy and single. And you can also be very, very happy and in love as well.
See, I can't fall in love again unless the person who comes along will make sure they use a different knife for the Vegemite than they do for the butter.
Well, the person that will come along
You've
will
got
actually
a
want to
long
do that.
life ahead of you, Tim.
I've got a lot of self-development to do, don't I?
But the thing is that your list, because you're not in love, you're warped at the moment because you're you know what I mean? Like when you fall in love.
I was warped when I was in a relationship too.
No. I'm only joking. But like when you fall in love, all those little things you don't care about the spoon.
Really?
The knife and the Vegemite and the butter. You don't care about that because it becomes really, really irrelevant.
And Michelle, are there things about your man that drive you nuts?
Oh, I could smack him daily.
Good.
He drives me senseless sometimes, but
What's he do?
he leaves an empty plate in the fridge after taking leftover food off it. Like if there's a leftover risole or something in the fridge, he just takes the food and leaves the empty plate. And I want to take this plate and smack him with it. But in the whole scheme of things, those things are so small and unimportant, and it infuriates me for about 5 seconds. And I infuriate him. I leave cupboard doors open, and I'll hear this whack in the kitchen where he slammed the cupboard door, and then he's over it. So there's many things. There's 100 things about each other that annoy us.
It's familiarity, love for me, and comfort. It's making somebody a cup of tea when they might need one, and you can see that, and you just make it for them. It's cleaning up the house before they get home if you know they've had a bad day. It's standing up for them, and Claire, that's what your story illustrated there. Standing up for someone, even if you know your better half has done something wrong,
You stick up for them.
you stick up for them. It's loyalty. It's feeling their forehead when they're sick. Doing just a series of gestures, really. That's what love is, and you do it unthinking, unblinking, just because you love that person. Yeah. Making a cup of tea, that's my big symbol of love. Can love exist without sex?
I think it can, of course. Yeah, because love can exist without sex. Yes, it can. I do believe. You'd be very, very frustrated.
So this man that you're deeply in love with at the moment, you could live with him for the rest of your life without sex? Don't pull that face.
As long as he buys me a really good vibrator.
Are you allowed to say vibrator on radio?
Yeah, vibrator's quite fine on community radio. And also have taken dildo. Nonetheless, where does it fit in, though? It's an expression of love. We're allowed to talk about sex. It's an expression of love.
Sex is.
What are you going to say this time, lady?
Sex is a part of love.
It is.
Yeah, but you can have sex without being in love. Well, that is lust. You can have sex without being in love, which is a totally different act to having sex when you're in love.
I agree, and I really like the concept of the spiritual connection when you're in love, but you can just...
We're human beings.
We are,
And-
and lust still comes into it, I think, and sometimes you just need a bit, Sometimes it's just, there's no spiritual connection, it's just a damn hot quickie because you want it.
So,
But do you
I mean,
think sometimes, Donna, that it's just purely chemical? That
It is.
Yeah,
It's
that a
chemistry.
guy might be, ew, what does she see in him? But she sees something.
Oh, it's definitely a connection. It's definitely a
It's
very
chemistry.
individual
That's
feeling.
all it is. It's definitely chemistry between two people, and you can't put that into words.
You're the
Everything
first set of
about
women
that.
who haven't had a list of traits that they want to look for.
It's an individual.
You're telling me
Oh,
it's
I
just
definitely have a
chemistry.
list, Tim.
Tell me your list. That's what I want to know. I want the quick fix, Donna. I don't want to hear all this, it's cosmic.
Well, I think
want to know what I need to do.
For women,
Jim?
maybe just the people that I know and the women that I know, it's about a emotional level as well. So it's about, as we've just talked about that connection, about that feeling. That's what you're looking for. Not necessarily,
The
as you
magic.
say,
It's
about
called
what
magic.
they do or
When you get
how
the
they
magic,
act or
yeah.
how they look like. And maybe it's about interests. Like that's something that I look for, is that they have the same interests in what I do. And maybe the same future goals. I mean, you want the person that you fall in love with for it to last.
It needs to be practical
Yeah,
on
very
some level,
practical
doesn't
as
it?
well as emotional, yeah. So I guess it's a lot of things.
What is love? Just throw it out there. Couple of sentences. What is love?
I think love is being comfortable enough to completely be yourself and happy enough to share your time and share yourself with another person. I guess it's just kind of like you said, comfort.
Comfort,
being
familiarity
able to
and trust.
give and take comfort from another person.
Love is the person who you want to be with if the world blows up, and you want to be there with him to say goodbye if your life's going to end, and no one else around, just you and that person, and that's it.
It's like the end of the Titanic.
It is.
You're facing your own mortality, even in the coldest water in the world, and you just want to hold hands.
Absolutely.
That's love.
That's love.
I like it, Claire. Donna?
I think love is soul and heart, hopes and dreams, connections. What is love? Love is just love.
Love is magic.
It feels good, doesn't it?
It does feel good.
Doesn't feel good when you don't have it.
No, it doesn't.
You feel ripped off. You've been listening to It's Time to Talk. Give us a call on 6585 2233 tonight. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Have you had
for
fun?
having us, Tim.
Had fun, yeah.
Have you fallen in love with me?
We all love you, Tim. What can we say?
I didn't like the hesitation.
I always listen to It's Time to Talk. I never miss it.